everyone, and welcome back to Aaron's Reading Room, and welcome to the 21st edition of My Category Journey. We've got a great one this time round. We are doing another medical, so our second medical, and this one is A Nurse to Claim His Heart by Julliette Hyland. I had the honor of doing a categorically romance podcast episode with Julliette's sister, and so I decided that it was time to feature one of Julliette's books. She's followed me on My Category Journey on Twitter for a long time, so here we are. So into chapter 1, we have Benedict and Penny. Benedict is a neonatal intensive care doctor, and Penny is a nurse that works at the same hospital. These two have a bit of history just in working at the hospital. So it's alluded to that they almost had something romantic going on, but it didn't quite get to anything serious. And I think that has to do with something in Benedict's past. It appears that he had a marriage of convenience with a woman who was engaged to his brother, but his brother unexpectedly died. And she was pregnant and had a very orthodox family, and so her being pregnant and single would be just a no-no. So they worked out an arrangement so that, things could go smoother. They're separated and trying to work on a divorce right now. We know that much. And some drama that might come back later is that Penny is fresh off of a relationship that wasn't actually a relationship. It was a man cheating on his wife with her, and it took her years to realize what was going on. So she has been burned pretty bad. So there's potential for some drama here, and we love it. So bring it on. But what happens in chapter 1, they're taking the train to the job. They always acknowledge each other on the train, but they don't sit next to each other. They just have some space between them right now. But there was a medical emergency on the train, and they both stepped in to intervene. They did what they could, and they had to rush the baby to the hospital. I think things so far are turning out okay. Of course, in the age of smartphones, this was caught on camera. You know us romance junkies on the internet, when we see a picture that's super cute, we're like, oh, that needs to be a romance. That needs to be a romance book, or it needs to be a romance in real life. So there's an interesting situation forming here. So that's chapter 1. I'll go on to chapter 2, and I'll check in with you then. Hello, everyone. I finished chapter 2. Benedict and Penny, they've been filmed on the train attending to this preemie baby, and the community is just loving it. Of course, it made it to the internet. Well, the hospital is doing a fundraiser for a new NICU unit, and the publicity team is eating it up. They're trying to take full advantage. Well, Penny's really never taken part in any of the fundraiser stuff, publicity things for the hospital, and really doesn't have any interest in it. Benedict has always been involved, and his heart is really set on getting this new NICU unit off the ground. And we know why that is. Penny doesn't know quite yet, but it's a reason that's very close to his heart. So he's trying to propose the idea of, well, let's just continue with this little charade, at least through the fundraiser, and we'll just make sure that, the NICU unit gets off the ground. Penny's already been in a fake relationship at this point. She didn't know it was fake, but she doesn't want to have anything to do with that, and is just trying to be away from Benedict as soon as possible. Well, fate is a cruel mistress, and they get trapped in a way. They get stuck together briefly for a bit, and it forces them to actually have a conversation. It forces Benedict to actually show some vulnerability. He has some issues with being trapped dark places. We got some closeness. We got some convincing arguments. So they're going to try it out and see where things go. Obviously, they laid ground rules, so there is no falling in love allowed in this. I am just so excited to see how spectacularly they fail at that part and in sticking to that rule there. So that's chapter 2. I'm going to go on to chapter 3, and I'll check in with you then. Hello, everyone. I finished chapter 3. The primary thing that happened in this chapter was a fake date. Aren't fake dates just the best? Because we all know in our heart of hearts that they're not fake. They're never fake. We know the thoughts of each of these characters, that they're wishing this was a real date. So It's obviously a real date, but it's trivia night. We got to see our main characters shine a bit, one more specifically than the other. It was a great time. I'm not going to spoil all of it for you. There was a scary moment there where I thought maybe Penny was going to blow up at Benedict, but it didn't happen, and we got quite a surprise at the end of the date. Oh, it's magnificent. I love when these moments happen at an earlier time in the book. It really just gets to the fact that these characters really like each other. So I am super excited to see where this goes. I know it can't be smooth sailing all the way through, but I'll read another chapter and I'll check in with you then. Hello everyone, I finished chapter 4. First I need to make a correction. It's not an expanded NICU ward, it's actually a maternity ward. So correct myself there, but it's specially designed so that I think mothers can stay with their preemie babies more closely. So that's an awesome thing there. Working in a hospital setting, unfortunately, it's not all miracle stories of healing and the doctors saving everyone. Unfortunately, they can't save everyone. And it was one of those days. It was rough on Penny, her sister Alice, and on Benedict. As they were leaving, they were talking about all the things that they do after a day like this to pull them out of their own sorrow. I'm not going to say I'm happy about anything, of course, because it's a really tough situation, but it's nice when we have people that we can lean on. And I'm glad that Penny and Benedict decided that it was okay to lean on each other. And as much as Alice doesn't like it, or as much as Alice wants to protect her sister, she knows that, Penny's her own person and can do what she wants. She's just worried about her. But I think at some level she understands. I actually like Alice quite a bit. I like her personality, and I'm hoping she gets a book too. But staying in this book here, we're glad that Penny and Benedict have each other. That's about all I can say right now on it. So I'll read another chapter and I'll get back to you. Hello everyone, I finished chapter 5. Now, I'm not going to tell you really anything of what happened in this chapter, but I'm going to talk about, sometimes you get these romance books where things just go so well. Like, you don't have the fighting the feelings, which, I do love sometimes. Sometimes it's a nice take to just find a couple that, they might be hiding their feelings a little bit, but they are just really falling in love, and you're witnessing it, and it's sweet and it's beautiful, and you just can't get enough of it. I'll just leave it at that quick little check-in, and I'll go into chapter 6, and I'll see you there. Hello everyone, I finished chapter 6, and it's now that time in a book where I get frightened because things are going too well. There's been a couple hints about some things that could come out of the past, really set fire to everything. We know that Benedict is married. He's still in his marriage of convenience, and it's still convenient for his wife, but they haven't lived together. They've been separated for years. I have a feeling she's going to show up in the flesh here soon, and I'm worried. I'm worried because Penny is not going to take that kindly. So I will go on to chapter 7, and I'll check in with you then. Hello everyone, I finished chapter 7. Things are warming up quite well. We've got quite a few good things going right now, but we've got like the dark moment creeping up in the background. It's sneaking around and it's ready to jump out and attack everyone from behind, though Benedict should see this coming. He would hope he would see it coming. He's a smart guy, but we do understand why he's hesitating on some things here. So we're just going to hold on tight and hope that everything works out fine. I'm sure Julliette won't let us down, but this is a little stressful waiting for this to come, and it's not going to be easy to get through. We're just going to trust Julliette and let the story come as it may. And so I'll go on to chapter 8 and I'll let you know how things go. Hello everyone. I finished chapter 8. And let me tell you, this was a bit of a rough one because there was a patient, NICU patient, so preemie baby that came in that it was very adjacent to a rough part, a very difficult part of Benedict's life. And so he's taken this matter very personally. He's got a lot of emotions tied up into it. And so it's hard on him right now. And we're glad that Penny's there for him. Boy, he had an opportunity to do the right thing, to come clean about some stuff, but he was overtired from worrying about this patient, so we'll forgive him for now. But he really should come clean about this thing that's in his past, well, in his present right now too. So we're still bracing for when this is going to happen. Actually, I just had a fun back and forth with Julliette over Twitter about her being a cartoon villain for how she's treating her characters right now. So lots of fun there. So we've got a good mix of fun in with the tension that's brewing in this book here. So I'm going to go on to chapter 9, and I will let you know how things go. Hello, everyone. I have finished A Nurse to Claim His Heart by Julliette Hyland. I usually check in at the dark moment, but I got to it, and then all of a sudden I was at the epilogue. So I apologize there. Now, not to give too much away, but I was actually impressed with the level of maturity the dark moment was handled with. But you know what? That's what I hear these medicals are all about. And I have to say, with my experience, that is true with the other book that I read, which was The Vet's Unexpected Hero by Tracy Douglas, that was also featured on my category journey. But back to this book, it was filled with so much heart. There was so much heart and love, not just between the main characters, but between the side characters, family, sisters, brothers, and what an epilogue, I tell you. It fit perfectly for this story here. So I am so happy I got to feature this one and experience it and share my experience with you all. So Julliette Hyland, thank you. Thank you so much for sending me a digital copy of this book. Thank you for enjoying my experience along with me on Twitter. Everyone stay tuned on April 8th at 4:30 Pacific time. So that's 7:30 Eastern time. Julliette is going to be joining me on a live show on this channel right here. So I hope you tune in for that. We'll be talking this book. I'll pick her brain about her next book, and it's going to be so much fun. I'd also like to thank Harlequin Books, of course, and like to thank all of you for joining me on my category journey. And remember, it's your journey as well. And make sure to enjoy your own reading journeys. And I will see you all in the next video.